Okay, welcome to the PodKatz with Jason Katz, with your host, Jason Katz. And it looks a little different because I'm on a ferry to Bainbridge. This is more peaceful. I can see in the picture or on my phone that it looks a little bit more tranquil, a little more lo-fi, beats to chill with, you know. I did record an episode yesterday while driving in the rain, but honestly, I don't like it and I don't want to air it. And opinions change over the course of a day. Yesterday was very hard for me. It was my 90-day anniversary of no drinking, which is great. It was also my 90-day anniversary of not talking to this woman that I'm pretty still in love with, but and I was really fighting the urge to like reach out to her yesterday, and I don't really feel that way right now, to be honest. I mean, I do, but you know the scene in SpongeBob where he's got like filing cabinets in his brain and all the little SpongeBobs are like, what's his name? We forgot his name. Like, it's, you know, I've filed her away and I still love her and I'll always probably love her, but like I can move on and love her at the same time, you know? Duality, as we call it. I think that's just being a mature adult, but what the fuck do I know about that, you know? Either way, things have been happening. A lot of things have been moving, like this ferry. What else happened? So, in the first episode, I believe, I talked about a stalker who kind of popped their head up last week, but I don't think they're going to keep popping their head up. And to be perfectly honest, like, I'm not trying to stop them from doing stand-up because that's how we met. They were a stand-up comedian. So if my stalker is watching this, I don't know why you would. Feel free to do comedy. Just please, you know, don't do what you did. Just leave me alone. We can live two separate lives. I don't really feel like there needs to be a progression in this. Who knows? Even mentioning this could probably trigger someone. I don't know. I hope it doesn't. But also I posted this thing about, like, on my Facebook, not like on Instagram or anything, about this weird voicemail I got where somebody was like repeatedly saying my name for 4 minutes straight. Like they were like, Jason, Mason Case, and Jason Katz. Like it was weird. But I don't think it was my stalker. I think it was a different person. They called from a blocked number, and I showed my therapist this, and they were like, that's pretty hard to fake. I'm like, I don't know, acting exists, you know? But she's kind of right. It is kind of hard to fake. So I think that person was either going through a very big mental breakdown or they were on drugs. And, you know, there really hasn't been an update. I don't think it has anything to do with my stalker. They don't sound the same. Ooh, you see that? You see how the bar is like right next to the barge? It's kind of like, ooh, there it is. It's kind of like when the DVD logo goes into the corner. I don't know. Yeah, back to the love thing. I was down bad yesterday, you know. I was telling myself not to do this because I don't want to freak anyone out. You know, I've been working on this joke and I don't know how to apply it yet, and I've said it on the podcast before, but like, you know, the romantic gesture of knocking on somebody's door, being like, I love you, I want you, is really romantic. It's really creepy if it doesn't work. You know, like if it works, you're like, that's such a romantic story. That's such a great meet cute kind of tell the kids story. Not that I am gonna have kids. I don't know about that, to be perfectly honest. That's a whole other can of worms. Either way, if you don't succeed at that, you know, you kind of look weird, right? Maybe it's a crime. Maybe it becomes a pattern of behavior that can later be used to get you a restraining order from this person. So, yeah, I didn't do it, and I don't plan on contacting this person ever again. And that really sucks because I love them a lot, and they kind of just discarded me because they're an avoidant, which is totally fine. Avoidants tend to avoid realizations that they have to face. And when somebody wants an intimate relationship, the avoidant has to like deal with the intimacy, and that can be hard. And I was watching this TikTok today about Matthew McConaughey, and he says, like, they were like, what did you learn about like falling in love or some shit? And he's like, well, some person in the relationship could be running and another person in the relationship could be walking, and you can't forget about them, and you kind of have to match their pace. So, you know, I was running, she was walking. I just have to slow down. If it happens, it will happen, you know? And I'm totally open to finding other people to fall in love with, which sucks for my ego and for like what I really want, you know? Because like yesterday I felt like, you know, I've been doing all this mental work, physical work, you know, sobriety, working out, getting better at comedy, doing my job, my like real full-time job. And like I did a lot of work in these last 90 days, and like I finally have a home for myself, and I'm finally feeling independent as an adult. And I was just really mad because like she wasn't there. And yeah, I just feel like that sucks, because I guess a little part of me was expecting her to reach out between now and then. But it's okay. It's not the biggest deal. I'm not homeless. I'm not having to fight everyone to go to the bathroom, which is probably what the homeless have to deal with in this city. I feel like I'm being a little too sad. I'm trying to be happy, you know, like I finally have my own self. And I was talking to this chick I matched with on Hinge, and we were Instagram friends. She's a local artist in Seattle. It's great. But anyway, she was telling me, you know, like how she's like, oh, she's not the one, you know, like I don't take second chances like with people. Like if it was the wrong time, if it was like the wrong person or the wrong like set of parameters, like I just move on. And I'm like, and she was like, I love myself too much to like go back to someone that didn't choose me the first time. I'm like, okay, well, you couldn't really ride a bike the first time, right? Like you have to fall off and get back on. And this will relate to comedy at some point, I'm sure. But like, you know, it's a thing. I mean, I need to say better words. It's a mindset, and I you know, I actually really am glad she said that, because I do kind of need to hear that, because like I'm dealing with a lot of self-love, and it's an ongoing journey, and I've definitely made progress, but I'm not there yet. But the point is like, you're not giving second chances to anyone. A lot of people now are just like, oh, it's not love, I'm not gonna try. And like dating and like online dating, and it's like, well, love is actually kind of about like, and I totally agree with everyone saying self-respect, but like also like love is about lowering your standards. Love is about apologizing. Love is about second chances. Love is about like forgiving without resentment. And like that is a part of love. There's definitely parts of being in a relationship with somebody that you love where you fucking hate them. And like, you're just like, Jesus Christ, like, why are you doing this to me? And while the pattern of that is not okay, there are times in relationships where like that is gonna happen. And if you don't stick around, then you know, you're kind of not being a coward, but you're not like seeing it through. And I mean, everybody's disposable, but social media and online dating's made that very clear. I got disposed of, didn't feel good. But you know what? If that's what she needed, if she's happier without me right now, then like, okay, maybe someday she'll be happier with me. And if not, I guess I gotta find someone else. As the great Adele said, someone like you. But besides that, gas prices are astronomical. Like, I have no idea how people are not revolting. You know? AI's bleak. Jobs are dying. Even though the humans were never really meant to have jobs, we just needed to have jobs. And every social undertone contract of like an unspoken agreement has been violated, in my opinion. You know, like the original theory of like, you bake bread, I hunt animals, like I will trade you bread for meat. Like the implied contract is like everyone benefits. Like that's all broken. And we're too far into it. And everyone's like, I just need to protect my peace. And meanwhile, the earth is just slowly boiling. Which is sad, but like, I don't know. I think we're gonna get through it. The human mindset has always been a survival in the darkest of odds. Like that is a big superpower in evolution, is just being like, I can be okay. You know, like we came from nothing in the ice age. There was a point in time where like there was a plague or some shit and humanity got down to like 10,000 people. It's called the Great Bottleneck. I don't know how much science I have about this, but apparently that's why there's so many facial features that are similar, because like we all have these same 10,000 ancestors. So like humanity can survive, life finds a way, as Jurassic Park likes to say. Maybe I should add music. Maybe that's what my podcast is missing. I don't know how to edit, so like I've just been posting, but you know, comedy. I did 7 days, or 6 days. No, 7 days. I did Wednesday to Tuesday, and then I took Wednesday off last night. Today is Thursday. And you know what? I went out to dinner with a friend. I met up with another friend. And it was just nice living life. A lot of comedians like to hit the ground and they like to always be doing mics, and that's important because comedy is a muscle. You lose it or you use it or lose it. But like also comedy requires you to stop and live life, because otherwise you don't relate with people, you know? And I think that gets pretty evident when comedians start to write about like people. Is that bothering anyone? When comedians start writing people about like, when they start writing jokes about like comedy, when they start writing jokes about like the comedy scene and shit, that's when you know somebody just needs to stop and go out for a night or stay in. You know, like a lot of comedy comes from the mundane. I've never taken the Bremerton ferry, I don't think. It's longer, it's like an hour. You know what album came out this week was, last Saturday, was Kanye's Bully, and I love it. It's genuinely a masterpiece. I know Kanye is controversial. I know he said really fucked up shit. Whatever. I'm sure Beethoven was a piece of shit too. I'm sure Mozart was an asshole. I think there's a movie about it. I never saw Amadeus. I've also heard that Amadeus is a really good movie about jealousy. Like a lot of people, like apparently the antagonist is some guy that's jealous of Shakespeare. And, you know, at least for me, when I get jealous of other comedians, and I've been jealous of plenty of comedians, especially the newer ones, like, that are doing better than me. But, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm always going to be doing mics or shows. Hopefully it becomes paid shows and I can eventually become a full-time comedian, and eventually I'll have my own creative work and stuff like that, and I can get paid for it. That's the goal. But for now, I'm just chilling with getting better. And I'm writing better. And I'm writing, like, music again. So maybe I'll have, like, a Gambino phase. Right? Like Donald Glover is a triple threat. Maybe quadruple, right? Because he can dance. Like, he did comedy, rapping, and music. Wow. Did I just catch myself demeaning rap? Donald Glover does music. He can dance. He can act. He can do comedy. And that's always kind of the career I wanted, you know? Like, I mean, I'm really good at freestyling. I've never been good at it. I've never really done it in public, but if you were to ask me to freestyle sometime, I'd be able to spit some bars. I'm good at rhyming. I'm good at rhyme scheme. I'm getting better at it. I think I said earlier in this episode, I started writing lyrics again, and I started freestyling again. And I did that throughout the pandemic, and I did that a little bit in college. But, you know, music is important to me. Maybe I should start. I've never been able to make a song, honestly. I've never done it. There's too much technology and editing involved. Kind of why I post these without editing. That might just be ADHD, but, like, now there's apps where you can just make a song. Like, if I put in the lyrics, if I put in a demo of me freestyling, I'm pretty sure there's an AI app that can just make a good song. So I might do that until I can get somebody that can actually produce for me and knows what to do. Is this not enough motion? I don't know. I don't even know. I've never looked at the analytics. I don't know how many people of my viewers actually listen to the full PodKatz. You know? I gotta start clipping these too. I wonder if the sound of the boat is gonna cut into my audio. I guess there's a sound of a car moving, right? And the windshield wipers sometimes, but, like, you know, love is and always will be a human construct, but it's also something discovered, you know? Like, human connection is so powerful, but it requires two people. And, you know, one of the great mysteries of life is, like, how we became populated, you know? Like, was there one human to begin with? How did that person reproduce? I mean, the answer evolutionary is, like, there was just so many, like, I mean, honestly, like, it was like special needs animals that kind of became humans, right? Like, I think a human, Homo sapien, is like a special needs, like, Neanderthal originally. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I think that's my understanding of it. Is, like, there's just been so many, like, genetic mutations that eventually there was enough of us through those genetic mutations, and we just started reproducing, and then we took over as the dominant human. Imagine if there was still, like, Neanderthals and shit. That would be crazy. We can't even handle racism, you know? We can't even handle, like, different skin color. So, like, that would be crazy. Human beings are really bad, but right now, white people are really bad. You know, like, everything's getting worse. People are starving. Every business is getting squeezed, except for, like, the top 4 tech companies, you know? And a lot of people are like, well, if you can't beat them, join them. It's like, that's true, but, like, you know, you're kind of becoming a stormtrooper. To be perfectly honest, there's so much life to live, and there's so much beauty in the world that, like, and I just saw another TikTok this morning. It was actually from the show Louie, and Louie was talking to some old guy. He might be a comedian, I don't know. Like, it might be some famous guest star. I have no idea. I didn't recognize them. Anyways, he's like, I'm really sad about this breakup. I love her, I miss her, I want to be around her, and I'm really sad. And the guy's like, what's the problem? And he's like, well, I want to be with her, you know? And he's like, well, that's not when it's over, you know? Like to be heartbroken and to overthink about somebody is such a blessing, because when it's really over, it's just not going to be in your mind, you know? Like, and that kind of stopped me, because I was like, whoa, like, I'm not suffering. I'm going through it, but like, it's like, it is a blessing to be able, and it is kind of a privilege to be able to like overthink something about someone that you miss, because, you know, Alzheimer's, right? There might be a time where I don't even remember them. I don't know if I'm getting Alzheimer's, but Alzheimer's, not Simers. Zymers. I don't know. We're close. Maybe Alzheimer's won't be a thing. I mean, they already kind of have breakthroughs. A lot of people say, or like, there's a theory that it's like very late stage diabetes, but I'm no doctor. I've been talking a lot about science shit that I have like no idea. Like, honestly, I don't read articles. I read like the headline and skim it, and I don't even fully skim it. What fucking, is that an island? That must be like a vacation island, because like, I don't think that's connected. Washington's geography is so annoying. But I do have this theory that as the climate changes and we get a little bit more receded in the coastlines, right? And the air gets more polluted, that Washington is gonna kind of become this like safe haven for oxygen. You know, like, people will come here as tourists just to like breathe fresh air, because Washington's air is amazing. It's beautiful. Like, I lived in California for 4 years. I could tell the air was making me stupider and selfisher, because every time I went home for break, I was just like, this is nice. So yeah, I do, and it kind of already is, but like, I think it's gonna be like, it's like, yeah, I went to Washington. Oh, how was the air? It was great. I could breathe. Because like, I don't know. The rest of the country's air sucks. You know, and the coastline's receding. Washington has its main city, Seattle, not on the coast. Most coastal states have their main cities on the coast, or at least the West Coast does. Like the big cities, like New York. Pretty sure Boston's on this. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Anyways, I think New York and LA are gonna like seriously see some changes in like the next 50 years coastline wise, especially LA. I don't think that's gonna be habitable maybe even 10 years from now, you know? This is all apocalyptic, I don't know. I kind of liked it when I was talking about love. Yeah. I wish I could just tell her. I wish she would watch. I don't know if she does watch. I don't know. She probably doesn't. But if she does watch, and you know who you are, you know, I love you, and I'm never gonna not love you. And we should try again sometime, you know, when you're ready. Because, I don't know, I'm ready. But I'm not gonna rush you, and I'm not gonna bother you about it. Because, like, that would just put you off. It wouldn't be fair to you. So, you know, animals, like, horses don't run when you tell them to run when they're injured. I guess that's a bad example. We kill a lot of, like, injured horses. Like, dogs walk on their paw that's injured when they feel ready for it. Nobody can rush them. So, I love you. But I can't let myself, sink into this, like, abyss of I miss you. And that's not fair to me. And I have to move on. Sadly, it sucks. And I thought I already was. And I've done a lot of work too. Like, I think that's what I was so frustrated about yesterday. Like, I've done so much. I've done like everything on the checklist to move on. And in the back of my mind, if there was one day left on Earth, like a meteor coming, I would do everything in my power to spend my last moments with you. Because that, to me, proves that I love you, Like, it's just, I can't get rid of that. But I do have to move on for myself. Because, like, I've got worlds to conquer. I mean, I got jokes to tell and shit like that, but yeah. I'm building an empire of dick jokes and cum jokes and butt jokes and poop jokes. I'm just kidding. But isn't that funny? Like, I was saying this yesterday on the podcast, but like, comedy is an art form, but like, that can be lost when like the jokes are just so juvenile and grotesque. But that is kind of where art comes from, is like juvenile thinking. A little bit. Like, I don't know. If a first grader makes his whole class laugh by making a fart noise, who are we to say that that is not art? It hit the audience, the intended audience, and it caused joy. So, ooh, maybe it'll come into frame, but there's like a little speedboat. I think it's the Coast Guard. It should be coming into frame. Give it like 10 seconds. A big part of why I do this is so I can feel comfortable speaking for this long. See, it's coming. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, I think it's in. There it is. But like, a big part of why I do this is because I need to work on being able to speak for long periods of time. I need to feel comfortable knowing that I can speak for this long, and we're almost at 30 minutes. But like, the goal is to get this to like an hour, right? Like, cause like an hour is like usually a sellable show. And then even after, like, I saw Tom Papa, and Tom Papa did like 80 minutes, 75 minutes. It was a little long, but like, it wasn't. I feel like once a comedian goes after 90 minutes and he's not killing for those 90 minutes, it's gone too long. And we can go and honestly, that's my opinion on films. Whoever is letting these fucking directors make 2 hour and 15-minute movies needs to be thrown in jail. Because like, the rule that I learned when I was in writing classes in San Diego State was that 90 minutes, that's what you're writing for. And I think 90 minutes or less is like a good movie. Like, we've lost the art of like the hour and 15-minute movie. Maybe it's a TV movie technically, but like, you have to wrap it up. You have to make edits. I think it was Marty Supreme, and I was like, I was in editor mode. I was like, cut that. I don't care about your little art. Because that's the thing about being a director, is that you get attached to it and you're like, no, not this scene. And even I'm guilty of that. I've never made a film, but like, I've been guilty of that in writing scripts. And like, it's just like, dude, fuck your scene. This has not progressed the story. So, yeah. We're approaching 30 minutes. I think we're approaching Bremerton. I don't know. I thought it was like 50 minutes. This has been 30 minutes. Either way, this has been the PodKatz with Jason Katz, with your host, Jason Katz. Like, subscribe, comment question of the day. What do you guys think is going to happen to the coastline in the next 40 years? Leave that. I'll pick a few winners. You'll win a PS5, and I'm totally fucking with you. I'm not going to send you a PS5. But, you know, one day, maybe I'll have the funding to do this, you know? Philip DeFranco does it like every day, or he used to, I don't know. But, you know, dude, Philip DeFranco and Ray William Johnson are still doing shit. Isn't that awesome? Those were my favorites as a kid. Okay, yeah, this has been a PodKatz episode 10, I believe. And next week, maybe I'll be driving. All right, have a good day. Goodbye. I love you all.